I'm going to show you how to make these adorable happy birthday scratch cards so that you can give them to your students on their birthday and then they can scratch for a prize. I previously made ones for some wall climbers and these cute little alien slingshots that I have in my prize box, and I just picked up these adorable barrel of monkey toys that has a mini barrel of monkeys inside, which I thought were really cute. So today I'm going to make barrel of monkeys scratch cards to add to my collection. So to make these little scratch-off tickets, you're going to need the scratch-off stickers first. I purchased mine on Amazon. I'm in Canada, so the options in other parts of the world will be different, but these are the ones that I got. It's $13.49 for 540, and I'm going to be using the round ones as opposed to the square ones for this project. You're also going to need a Bitmoji picture, or you can do really any sort of decoration. But if you want to use the same type that I used, you're going to go into your Bitmoji app, and I like to look up birthday, and you can put any of these on your scratch tickets. The one that I decided to go with was this one here. So I'm just going to drag it onto my screen, and I'm going to save the image. Okay, so there I go. It's all saved. Get a square. Well, I start off with a square, and you're going to unlock it by using that unlock button at the top. And I'm going to make this 3 inches wide and 3.35 inches high. This is going to be the perfect size to make 6 per page using the print and cut. I'm then going to change the color to white, and I'm going to lock it back up again so it doesn't change. Then you're going to go to upload, and you're going to upload your image from Bitmoji. I'm just going to go to downloads here, and this was my image, I believe. Okay, so I'm going to go to complex, continue, and I'm going to remove the background if there is any. I think that when I downloaded it, there might not have been. Apply and continue. Click on print, then cut, and click on upload. So there's my little Bitmoji. I'm going to add it to the canvas. And here we go. So I'm going to make this guy a little bit smaller. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find the happy birthday. So under images, I'm going to click and type in happy birthday. There's so many cute ones that you can choose from if you don't want to design your own. And I went with this one here. Okay, so that is the one that I went with, and I'm going to put it up here in the middle. I didn't like the colors personally, so I'm going to click on the birthday, and I'm going to change that to the bright blue that I picked. And I'm going to click on the happy, and I'm going to change it to the green that I picked. You obviously can go with any colors that work for you. It does look different here because I haven't flattened it yet. So when I do flatten it, it will look a little bit different. Okay, so I'm going to just size it a little bit more. I don't want it to go onto the edges. Now for mine, I added a couple of balloons to the background, and I added a balloon to the front. So, and some confetti in the background. So the next thing I'm going to do is find the balloons that I'm going to put into my background here. So I'm going to click on images. I'm going to type in balloons. These are the balloons that I used for the small ones in the background. And let me see if I can find the same balloon that I used before. I actually kind of like this one more than the one that I used before. So let's try that one. Okay, so for these balloons here, I did not want the black overlap. So I'm going to click on that layer and just hit delete to remove them. And this one I want to be a red. So So I'm going to change the color over here. Now, I like this balloon better than I do this one. And I'm going to size this down to go a little bit in my background here, maybe behind my hand, but under the words. And then I click arrange and I send backwards. That didn't work very well, so I'm going to click on this one and arrange and bring to front. And that way the hand is the front of the balloon. And then for this, I'm going to bring the size down a little bit and then move it where I want it. Now, for the scratch stickers, they are an inch long. So I am going to need a circle, and I want it to be less than an inch so that the sticker will cover it. So I'm going to make it 0.87 as like the height that I want. You can see that that's the same size as my last one over here. So I'm going to just get the balloon to be kind of the size that I want. And then I'm going to take this circle, put it on top. I'm going to align in the center, just so I know it's like right in the middle. And then I'm going to highlight it all and click slice. Okay, so now I have a little hole so that the white, I can put the writing on a white background just so it's a little bit easier to read. You can put it on top of the red if you prefer. So I'm going to move that up here now where I want it. And I like to have a little balloon tail here. So the way I did that was I just took a square and unlocked it and just basically made it into a tiny little line. And then I just put that back here and kind of lined it up with the bottom. And then I'm going to move that to the side just so I can highlight all of this and weld it together to make it one piece. Okay, and then I'm going to move that back. Okay, so I do want my words and the background to be centered. So I'm just going to make sure that I've highlighted just the words in the background and click align to make sure that's nice and center. And then I can play around with where I want this exactly. I'm going to keep this more to the side. I want this to be a little bit bigger and maybe move over here a little bit and maybe move the balloons where you want it. So just, play around with it, make it the way you like. I'm going to put in next the scratch for your gift. So I like Jumping Unicorn font for that. I got it off of, I think it was Creative Fabrica, but you can, just find whatever font works for you. Okay, so I've got Jumping Unicorn in my system fonts, and I'm going to just type out scratch for your gift. Okay, and I'm gonna make this about 2 inches right now. Okay, and I'm going to change the color. I like to match the happy birthday color, the happy up here. And I'm just going to size this down a little bit so it looks right. I think I want to move this higher. And that looks pretty good. Kind of want the wording to stand out a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to just make sure everything is sized the way I want it and that I've kind of centered this exactly where I like it. And now for the confetti. So that was pretty much the hardest part. I went to images again and I searched confetti. And there's lots of different options. I picked one with very little confetti. Little pieces. I know that it was further down here. There we go. So this is the one that I picked. Now this was the hardest part because I didn't want the confetti everywhere. So I'm going to show you what I mean. Like I didn't want it all over the bottom. I only wanted it on the top. So I, first of all, kind of stretched this out a little bit so that it fit exactly everywhere. And then basically what I did was I looked to see where I wanted the confetti, and then I just erased the others layer by layer. So I went to the bottom layer, contour, and then I basically just like clicked on all of the ones that were at the bottom. And then if I wasn't sure, I just kind of left it like that. And then I went through that same process layer by layer. And you might have to go back in later to kind of perfect it in case you have any that are covering up your letters. Okay, so the next layer. Again, I'm sure that you can make this a lot easier on yourself by, you know, not doing the confetti or maybe doing something else to kind of decorate it. But I thought it looked kind of cute, so I'm going to keep going. Okay, last layer. All right, let's see what we got here. So I got all of the ones at the bottom. I see that there's these ones here that I kind of think are in the way. So I'm probably on definitely this one here. So I know I have to go back to figure that out as well. So I think this one was a little low and this one was in the way. Okay, and that one I think is the one that has the yellow piece in the middle here. See, no, that wasn't the yellow piece. Okay, so this one has this one from the H, I think. That one's in my way. And here's the yellow one. Right there. Okay, so I'm kind of happy with that. This one is a, you know what? I'm going to get rid of that one too. Okay, I think that that's good. Okay, so the next step is to put your prize writing inside the circle. So I got a few things from like loot bag items. I have wall climbers and these little cute alien slingshots. But today I just picked up some mini barrel of monkeys. So I'm going to type that out. I like to use a very fine font. So instead of jumping unicorn this time, I'm going to go with DK Batula. Again, your font choice is up to you. I don't think there's going to be a bad one. So let's see. It's almost like a little handwriting font. I do like that the letters are quite thin. You want a thin one for this. So I'm going to put barrel monkeys. So I'm going to make this a lot smaller. So I'm just going to use that to size it down. And I think I'm also going to move the of to the top row. Okay, and let's see. That looks pretty good. Okay, so now we're right when you have everything exactly where you want it. Just move that over a touch. You're going to highlight everything and you're going to click on flatten. Okay, now you see how Barrel of Monkeys is not standing out a lot. And I'm looking at the happy and the scratch for your gift, and it's not quite the right colors. So I'm going to unflatten it and go back in. I'm going to highlight that, and I'm going to make sure it's black. It looks like it was on a gray, and that'll make it a bit darker. And I want this one a little bit darker too. So let me go with maybe this darker kind of green. And for the happy, yeah, I kind of like the happy. So now let me try it again. I'm going to highlight it all and flatten it. There we go. Okay, so what you're going to do next is you're going to duplicate. Now, if you want to make several that have different prizes in it, you would just unflatten and change the writing on the inside. So I'm just going to make sure that they are all kind of lined up right next to each other. And I'm going to highlight them, and I'm going to align center this way. And then I'm going to group. And I'm just going to duplicate that. And I'm going to move it below. Now, it's really important that you have to follow the dimensions for print then cut. So that means that there's not a lot of room to move around. Like if you put it too low, you're going to get a warning that it's not going to work. So let me highlight it all. I can see that I'm less than 9.25, and I'm less than 6.75. So this should work. I'm going to highlight it all. I'm going to click on Align here just to make sure it's all nice and centered. And then I'm going to click on Attach. Okay, so it looks good. I've got no warning sign. So you just click on Make It. So at this point, I've turned on my Cricut machine. My computer is a little bit slow. You can hear my Cricut machine going. That sound. Okay, so now that it's sorted, I'm just going to click on, I see that it has a whole bunch of the other ones that I had made too, but the wall climbers, this one I had made previously. This is the new one that I just made, Barrel Monkeys. So I'm going to click on Continue. First thing you're going to do is send to printer. So you're going to put your cardstock in your machine and you're going to print. One of the most important things that you need to do during print then cut is to make sure that you place your item on your mat exactly matching on your screen. So you can see how on my screen, the happy birthdays are on the left side. So when I load it on my Cricut mat, I want to make sure that it matches it exactly. Otherwise, it might not cut perfectly. Okay, so we're just going to load up the Cricut here. Okay, so now that they're printed out, we're going to remove them from the mat. The best way to do that is I like to take off the trim all the way around first. And so that you don't get curled cards, I like to curl the mat instead of trying to peel off the cards. So I'll just curl the mat until I pull them off. Do the same on this side. And then that way your cards are going to be nice and flat. And the very last step is just to put the stickers on. So here are my stickers from Amazon, and I'm just going to pull off various colors and just carefully make sure that you have covered just the words. When you're putting on the stickers. There you go. Then you can just have your students pick one of the cards and scratch for their birthday prize.